Well, let's pick this up again where we left off. And I was saying that, hey, so a user of my database is going to come in, and I'm not going to give them access to this back over here, right? I'm not gonna let them mess around with that. I mean, I might give my friend a ride in my car, but I'm not going to let them get under the hood and just start messing around, right? So this thing is denied to them. What I'm going to let them use is this, and this is, hey, do you recognize this, right? I mean, just in general, conceptually, do you recognize interacting with something like this? Of course you do, right? These are like all of those forms that you fill out online. Anytime that you go and you're going to start an account somewhere, Gmail or something, and you have to type in a username and then all of your personal information and stuff, and then submit that. That is a user interface, a form, right? A user interface form for some big huge table, some massive database somewhere, like all of the Gmail accounts, right? So if we look at that, and that's exactly why when we talk about something like this, where when see this product ID, right? We say this product ID back over here. That's the primary key here. Well, in a few minutes, we'll start talking about how there's data validation here. It's actually called an input mask that only allows certain things to be entered into here, and it has to be a unique thing, right? It can't be the same as any other primary keys. Well, that's exactly what happens to you, right? When you go and try and do a Gmail account, you go up here and you say, "Oh, this is my username." You type it in there. It's like, somebody already has that username, right? And it brings up an interesting point, something I laugh about sometimes. Can you imagine how hard it's going to be for like the next generation to come up with good usernames, right? Like all the good usernames are already taken, so it's getting hard now to come up with anything original. Can you imagine how hard it will be for the next generation? There won't be anything left at all. All right, back to the task at hand. Right, so here we are. We're the user logging into the database using this thing, and we're coming down through here. We're saying, hey, you know what? Let me go back to record 1 here, and we'll come back to the first one. And what was it? Oh, let's see. I think that was let's go back with Barnyard Friends, right? Well, I could have gotten back to that just by going right here, going back to record 1. All right, so Barnyard Friends. Hey, so there's 33 on hand, right? Let's take a look at that back over here in our here, and we say Barnyard Friends. Sure, yeah, there's 33 there, right? There's 33. Right? What I can do is, as a user, I can come over here and I can change it right here, and I can go, no, it's 10, right? It's 10, and I can actually go ahead and I can change this. I can go down through here, and actually nothing gets saved here. I can undo that with the undo button. Look, I can go up here and I can go undo, and that'll undo that. That'll take it back. But if I change it to 10 and I go and then I go to another record, let's say I go to the next record, I go to number 2. Now that I've moved to that next record and that data has been changed and entered, if I hop back over to the products table, look across your Barnyard Friends, hey, 10, all right? So that's been changed, right? So that's how I can change that data. And an interesting thing about this is in Excel, right, we could just hit the undo button, but we'll see here that actually we can change, we can undo the last thing we did, but that's all it'll allow us to do, right? That's all it'll allow us to do because it doesn't want us going through and deleting a bunch of data. We're only allowed to undo the last thing that we've done in an Access database, and then look, boop, it goes away, all right? That's all I'm allowed to do there. All right, so now we've seen that we've got this user interface where folks can come in and they can change things, or they can create new records and stuff, and that will appear, and it's linked right back to here, and it'll change things inside of our table, right? And our table, of course, is all linked to these things. Right? This is just the user interface for this one here. We have the same thing for our supplier data. Let's take a look at that. We've got our supplier data table here. Well, we have a user interface for this. People aren't going to mess around in here. They're going to come over here and they're going to come in and they're going to use our form, right? They're going to use our form to come through and view records or to input data if we allow them, right? So this is neat, right? Because here we have all the information from the supplier table, right? Here's all of our fields that come down through here where people can input data. But look at this. This is linked down here to all of the information that lines up with its foreign and its primary key down here, and all of this is linked to the supplier, or rather to the products table, right? And so this This is extremely hard to do in Excel, but incredibly easy and effective to do inside of Access because these tables exist. We build out these tables and then we form what's called relationships between them. And then it's very easy for Access to give us this information like this, where it's very hard in Excel to do this same kind of thing. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll end this one, and when we pick this up, we'll talk about queries and reports.